Good morning and welcome along to our weekly live stream. I say weekly, this is a bonus one. I've already messed up the intro, but thank you for coming along. It's a bonus live stream today after we started yesterday with Carlisle. I hope you're looking forward to it. I hope you're able to pop in as we're just going to play through a few games. For those of you catching up on replay later who aren't able to watch the live ones on a Wednesday or the bonus ones we do, please don't worry. You'll still have your regular ones done. It's just that it will be, in between, we'll be playing the games we would have played off camera, in essence. So you're not going to miss out on anything. We'll try and get through it as quickly as possible. Probably have about an hour where we're live this morning. Just get through 4 or 5 bonus games. And hopefully we'll be able to continue our form with Carlisle. Because as you can see, we've crept up just to the top of the league. Charlie, bonus exactly is a Brucey bonus this morning. We are live and we'll be here for the next hour or so. So thank you for coming along. I hope you're looking forward to it. And fingers crossed, you'll be able to enjoy some good results today. That's the main aim anyway. So let's talk a little bit about Carlisle first. For those of you who don't know why we're here, you obviously missed out yesterday. And last week's live stream, we decided that we've been able to move from Burnley back down for a rescue job with Carlisle. So apologies with the live stream, the live chat, sorry, it's a little bit out of date on the computer screen. So I'm leaning over to the phone to check it. Not got the old famous professional two screen system here. Charlie, can you sign Connor Crawford? He must be about 27 now. I would love to, but of course in this universe he doesn't exist, which is the big problem. He's a regen in the other save. He came through in a youth intake at Dungannon, so he doesn't exist as it stands. I'm imagining there will be some Northern Irish stars. Should we have a look before we start? While people are popping in and watching the advert at the start or whatever, should we have a look at how the Premiership's going? It's been a few years, hasn't it? I haven't even got the league loaded. There you go. Linfield, Larne, Crusaders won it once. Dungannon second once. So it looks like Dungannon have obviously got a few. Should we have a look? They've got some real players there. So who's their star? They're worth a lot of money. I'd imagine this is going to be a pleasant surprise. Tony Blair, interesting name, no comment. Good player. If only these players existed at Dungannon in my save with Cliftonville. I mean, I guess the positive is, if we give it another 5 years or so, these players potentially could be the standard of the Irish League in my save. I know we've started a bit late this year, but for next season's Build a Nation story, for any future ones with Northern Ireland as well, that's a positive sign. Because there's some really strong players there. And they're not even the best side in the league. If we look at Linfield, let's see who their stars are. See, look, most of their players are worth multiple 100,000. And they're very good. We've got a good side there. So it looks like the Northern Irish League's developing really well here. He was the best of the lot, actually. Peter McDowell, only 21 as well. So that's a positive sign. Larne obviously got a good team as well. I'm sure they're spending millions of pounds like they were before. And the key players are Serbs, so that's interesting. But very interesting to say the least. But that's a quick detour to start the episode or to start the stream. Thank you for everyone who's coming along, who is involved this morning. It's great to have you here and I hope you're looking forward to it. Fingers crossed there won't be any hiccups when we're going along with Carlisle. I can see the number of viewers creeping up, so thank you for popping in. Please chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already, as we start the day with Carlisle United. We have crept back to the top of the league because since you were last with me for Harrogate, we've won 4 games on the bounce. We've managed to get one more player in, who we'll look at in a moment, but we beat Spennymoor, who were top of the league at the time, 5-0. 2 early goals from Declan Shields. We then got outplayed until the hour mark, and then Joe Dodd popped up with 2 headers from corners, and Ross Walton nicked one. Comfortable win. A 3-0 win at home to Hales Owen. Michael Burling got a goal. I think that was his first for the club. Jamie Watson and Grant Wilson with his first as well. A 4-1 win at Curzon Ashton. Another Declan Shields hat-trick, and Walton scoring again off the right. And a 3-1 win at home to Telford with a Jamie Watson hat-trick. Just as it looked like a grandstand finish, he completed the set and he takes the match ball home. But let's have a look at our transfer history because we did sign one more player. And that man is a striker. And I think they might be hidden behind my head depending on how many we've got. Wapos, the Northern Irish Regens are always surprisingly good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a huge surprise to be honest, because if you look at the English League, there's always 10 to 15 Northern Irish players who have made it over from the Northern Irish Leagues to the Premier League or Championship. So I wouldn't say it's a huge shock, but what I would say is that there's probably too many that are are very good, if you know what I mean. There's probably the more that should be in the next tier down than there are. I mean, if you look at Peter McLaughlin we had with Dorking, he was worth 45 million. He was exceptional. And you can have those players. Johnny Evans won multiple titles at United. He's a top quality centre half. They've had Stephen Davis, who's been in his prime, was a very good player with Rangers. But there's probably a few too many, I would say. L Gaming, I didn't realise you were live today. Popped in to say hi. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for your help with the Discord as well. That will be going live this weekend. Nice to have you along, even briefly. I know it's not ideal timing. As I said, for FM21, we will find a way, particularly in the early weeks, to do some sort of weekend live streams or some evening ones, just so everyone's able to pop in. Hopefully that will work out then. But let's have a look at the rest of the comments. Charlie, will you have enough time to do 2 seasons in this save? I doubt it, to be honest. I am off work next week, so I wouldn't rule it out, but I doubt it. That would be my only point there. So yeah, L Gaming, the same as I said there. Probably from FM21, we'll do some weekend ones, we'll do some evening ones. It's just at the moment with work, it's the only way I can make it happen. But hopefully I won't have to work Saturdays too often after, so we'll be able to do it. Craig, happy birthday, Alex Scott. It's all you've been saying all morning. I appreciate you're a big fan of her. Happy birthday to her. I wish her a good day. But thank you all for popping in this morning. It's great to have so many of you here. I really hope you're looking forward to this one. I hope you enjoy the few games we're going to play. A little bonus this morning. And the first of them, as you've probably seen, is against our former head coach side, where it all started in FM20 for us. And that side is Kettering. Now, they're a bit of a lowly hanging side at the moment. They're in the relegation zone as it stands. 4 points from 8 games. Of course, not a dissimilar position to where they were when we took charge of them in the head coach. But look, they've got Alex Mowat in charge. And Morecambe are down there as well. It's a very surprising start to the season. Curtis Nelson in charge there. A lot of big names. I can't remember who it was that had the Italian or Portuguese international. Barrow. Antonio Candreva. So we've got that to come as well. But this morning, we'll definitely get through these first 4. Maybe an FA Cup tie, we'll wait and see. And then next week, we'll carry on where we were. But we'll definitely try and do 2 next week as well, because we have got the week off work. So from Tuesday to Thursday, I should be able to get 2 in. But we start today against Kettering after 4 straight wins. I haven't shown you the transfer yet that was hidden behind my head, have I? Let's go and meet him very quickly. He's a top man, and he's a very good player. Charlie, favourite flavour of jam? Probably raspberry, but definitely one of the berries. Maybe a blackcurrant at a push, but I'd say raspberry just. But all of the berries are great. As long as it's not marmalade or anything citrusy, apricot or that, then I don't mind. It's got to be a berry or something similar. L Gaming, thoughts on Wrexham? I was a bit worried when I watched them against Maidenhead on TV on Monday. Didn't look particularly great. But as I said in the pre-season predictions for the National League, it's probably going to be about 10 games of settling in a new team, and then they might hit fire. So I wouldn't worry too much for now. If it's still like this after 10, 12, 15 games, then perhaps to worry. But they're staying in the pack at the moment, and that's all that matters. They're doing better than some of the other fancied sides. I mean, Yeovil and Dagenham were in a relegation battle early on. So definitely nothing to worry about. Craig with butter, no. I know you're just trying to get Charlie to bite there. So no, I'm not going to get involved in that one. L Gaming, when's the food channel happening? So I'm trying to match it up with FM21 at the moment. There's a few hiccups due to work, but with time off around the same time, I'm hoping I'll be able to get some done. I've recorded 2 so far, so there is something there, but I want to be able to do it when they can come out regularly. So hopefully it'll be around that time. But thank you all for coming in this morning. It's great to have you here. I really hope you're looking forward to this one. I really hope you're looking forward to our flying form with Carlisle United. Let's see if we get into the first game how it will go. Because fingers crossed, it won't be a disaster. But it's good to have you all here, and I hope you're looking forward to this game. Because after a brief moment of someone digging up my cables near the end of the road, which I apologise if that's interfered slightly, we are going to go and get into this one. So hopefully the first game will run smoothly now, because we've got past the troublesome bit, shall we say. I have to go. Glad you could say hi. Thanks for coming in, L Gaming. Appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you on the Discord at the weekend as we get going live. But let's go and get into the first game. We've got Louis Potter who's come in. He is our new deep lying forward. 2 games, he's not really settled in yet, but I'll wait till he's match fit and then we'll judge him. But 3-star ability, 4-star potential, 850 quid a week. Happy to be a fringe player, which will suit us in the National League. And at 20 years of age, his attributes look perfect, bar the finishing. So we've got faith in him for now. But for our 11 today, he will feature as the deep line forward. The rest of the 11 is Smith in goal, Turner, Dodd, Hutchinson and Jamal, the back 4, nearly said the fullbacks. Douglas and Cool in the middle, Walton and Watson on the wings. And Declan Shields, 10 goals in 8 games, up front alongside Potter. 5 substitutes strong. Of course, Burling's on there now, having been dropped out of the 11. So he's getting stronger and stronger. And we're hoping that will lead to a 3 points today. So fingers crossed it will do. And we'll be able to enjoy this one. I'm just catching up with the chat again. Thoughts on the FA Cup match with Dulwich last night? It's such a shame, to be honest, because for the 90 minutes, the social distancing and things were pretty well observed. And then the same has happened with the hashtag game and a couple of others in the Cup. As soon as it goes to penalties, all the fans were running behind the goal. The stewards were standing at the other end having a chat. I don't see how that helps. And it gives lawmakers an excuse, which is the thing I don't want to see. Because I've been to games this season. It's been brilliantly observed, both in the social clubs, the bars, and in the terraces, in the stands. So it's such a shame to see if that would be ruined by the actions of a few. And to be fair, half that crowd who were there were still in their normal places being sensible. It's just that 50 or so extra ran round and made it look stupid. So we can't just highlight a few idiots. We have to be sensible for the main majority who were still being sensible when we got there. As Potter's whipped in a free kick, first goal of the season, part of the reason we signed him, and he has really made it work out today. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, to be honest. Just don't give lawmakers an excuse, because they'll do anything to stop football fans at the minute. Now, if you looked at the pictures of the Royal Albert Hall and the London Palladium, then you probably wouldn't be worried about what's going on behind the goal. As Potter's got a free kick again, he won't let me have a sip of drink, will he? As Cool heads over the bar. Still 1-0, half an hour gone. It's really starting to look good now. Took a few games to settle. We obviously had that one really disastrous away trip. But otherwise, we look alright. So there's no point in getting too upset just yet. Generally, things going well. And it's all looking good at the moment. As we're coming on the front foot again, Walton's got a corner. Into Potter. And I tell you what, we mentioned he hadn't scored and he wasn't match fit. He's certainly turning that around today. 2 goals already, 2-0 we lead. And at half-time, we're making Kettering's form even worse. And of course, this is the same universe, don't forget. So as it stands, we are the former Kettering manager. Albeit we branched off and did a live stream save. In our managerial history, if we go and look at it, we are still the former Kettering manager. So let's go to our home. I'm probably going to regret this because the profile screen is the longest to load. So let's try history instead. So if we look at our job history, our first job was Kettering. 12th, 3rd, and then left them in 2nd. So they have dropped back down after that. But it is the same universe. I wonder if any of the players were still there. But in non-league, after 10 years, that's almost impossible. But I'm happy to be proven wrong if anyone remembers. But 10 minutes into the second half, a comfortable 2-0 lead. And it all looks okay at the moment. Rumour that Andrew Sermon is training with Luton. Would you be happy if they signed him? Yes, I'd be delighted. I think he's a really good player. Good experienced pro. Would fit into the new 4-3-3 we're playing quite well. But he'd have to take a 75% wage cut to be able to come here. So I don't think it will happen. I think he'll get a bigger offer. But yeah, he's good. Even to have him around the training grounds, a good professional. I think he's one of those who's quite often underrated. So yeah, I'd be happy to have him. Inside forward on support, particularly if you look at when we get injuries in that holding role, we really look a bit weaker then. And, you know, Glenray has had a few of them, so it would be a good signing, I think. We're going to bring Cool on off in central midfield, and then it's going to be Harding and Waggett who come on in the middle. So there we go, 20 minutes to go, a 2-0 lead. It all looks pretty comfortable at the moment. It's been a really easy day at the office. We've just got to make it sure we see it out as Harding's cross is blocked. And this is where the trouble comes. If you get complacent, throw too many forward, and then can't deal with a counter-attack. Because any side can put a quick winger or a quick striker up front and hoof it long in behind. As it's into the middle now, Kettering actually playing good football. We're not giving them the credit they deserve. As it goes wide to King on the right-hand side, his cross is blocked and Burling clears downfield. Long towards Potter, who flicked on. Declan Shields not scored yet today. He'll be looking to change that, although he's been dragged wide here and into the box. He's challenged, but he picks it up again. Back to Burling on the edge. Oh, it's a wonderful goal. Right into the top corner. Michael Burling. What an unbelievable strike that is. 3-0 it is to Carlisle, and they're all turning up now. They're all turning up with big goals. Fantastic effort from Carlisle. We're top of the league. We're 2 points clear now. Biggleswade up there as well. But the sides that we have struggled against this year, Warrington, who beat us a second, and Harrier, who drew a ninth, and they hadn't lost until today. I wonder if they have now, though. But we're going to say well done, because that was a good performance. Good result. Comfortable. We couldn't ask for much more than that. Kettering a relegation threatened side. We don't want to get too excited, but it was certainly a good result. Louis Potter getting a brace is a big moment for us. New strikers, always good to get scoring. Burling scored as well, which is good. He's got a couple now for the club. So all's looking pretty healthy. I'm delighted with how things are going. Thank you for everyone who's popping in as well. It's good to see so many of you here. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. Come and get involved in the chat. Football talk galore. We haven't talked about the Salford news either today or yesterday as well, because, I mean, that was pretty bizarre. We did do a video on the podcast for it, but a bit of baffling news. Championship predictions will be out today as well as Cliftonville at 4:30. And Charlie says, is Cliftonville save your greatest achievement in FM? As a whole, the whole save, no, probably not. I've done similar with TNS and things like that. The European run that we've had so far this season, which obviously continues today at R4, that I would say yes. Because that European run, I've done a lot of Builder Nations off camera, whether it be San Marino Nation, just creeping them into a major tournament but then getting battered, whether it be TNS taking them into Europe, but I've never managed to get that far in Europe. I've never gone on that sort of run, beating those sort of sides that early in the save as well. It's an incredible achievement for me. So I would say probably yes as a result. Probably the greatest achievement is the European run, but as a whole save, possibly not. Hopefully that works out in some way. But we're moving on to Kidderminster Harriers away from home next. It's going to be an interesting game, that one. I'm not sure how it'll work out, to be honest, because Kidderminster are a mid-table side, one of those that can cause a surprise on their day. I'm not sure where they were predicted pre-season. We'll take a look at that. Bramble's on international duty, but he is transfer listed now. Trying to get rid of him, to be honest, because he's on big money and he's now 5th or 6th choice in central midfield. So certainly not one we'll be worrying about. I can see Kidderminster have got a player top of the key headers there in the random stat that popped up. So that's certainly an interesting bit of news. I'm guessing that means we'll be coming up against quite a direct side, perhaps, but maybe I'm being unfair and it's just sides playing direct against them, but somehow I doubt it. We're just a couple of days away from Kidderminster now. We'll get through this one, Guiseley. We'll try and do one more after that as well. Just a little hour to keep things ticking over. If I can show more of it on camera than planned, then great. And then we'll be back next time to show you more. I mentioned Cliftonville today. We've got a couple of weeks to go on that. But more importantly, looking to FM21, there were feature announcements on Monday. We will be starting our live Discord on Saturday, making announcements on Twitter and on the community page here about some of our saves for FM21. There'll be some votes about things you want to see in the episodes. I'm going to let you vote for one of the live stream saves as well, just to get an indicator. So hopefully lots to look forward to. And I've booked the 2 weeks off when the beta's due out, so I'll be able to put out loads of content, hopefully live stream nearly every weekday at some point, which would be lovely. And fingers crossed you'll all be looking forward to it. But the one thing we are struggling with here is the international breaks. It really starts to slow down again. And I'm not a massive fan of the international breaks to start with. But if we can crack through to the Kidderminster game, I would be much happier. There's a big National League game on TV tonight as well, I think, if I remember rightly. I'm going to have a look to see who it was. I'm sure there was. The Northern Irish Premiership as well. There's one on Friday night on BBC Red Button. Tonight. So, what have we got? This evening... Oh, there's not a National League game. I've made that up. Tonight there is Norway, Northern Ireland on Sky Mix and Wales on S4C. So they're the two for free TV. Otherwise you've got to wait till Friday for a bit of Coleraine Ballymena or Hearts v Dundee on the BBC. So hopefully one of those we can look forward to at least. But I think we're getting there now. The international break, always the slowest bit when you get further in the save. It is very frustrating. I've put them as view only, so they shouldn't have been taking up so much time really. But as it is, we're in that position at the moment, so we can't do too much about it. But we are getting there slowly but surely. Fingers crossed. I mean, I just worry about games like Kidderminster. They're the ones that are the potential banana skins, to be brutally honest. We've played their sides like this a few times. Same as Warrington. Pre-season were predicted to be mid-table, and they're the ones that fell away. Oh, yes. Charlie, FIFA Michael Branch. Was it 05 or 06? No, I think you might be right, actually. Was it 06? It's 05 or 06 anyway. But yeah, Michael Branch on the live stream. I wish I could. The console games, I haven't got the equipment to do it. Particularly the older ones. But I'd love to. It's a brilliant, brilliant one. Michael Branch is an absolute hero as well. But if there's any way that we can later on, when we've got better equipment, when we're moving up in the world, then I'd absolutely love to do it. And hopefully I'll be able to. But I won't make any promises at the moment. We have got... Interesting. Sublime Shields, he's getting praised for his form when he's for the first time gone 2 games this season without scoring. But we won't complain. He was still setting goals up and playing well. Kidderminster, let's have a look at the pre-season prediction for them. We should have the FA Cup draw soon as well. They were predicted, Kidderminster, to be 14th, next to Warrington. So that is possibly a worry. Their key player is Ian Bramley. Let's look at him. He's not great technically, but he's very, very quick and agile. In terms of other players of value, they've got a 19-year-old worth 70 grand. It's not bad. And an experienced midfielder of Walker and Bradley Robinson up front who's quick. And a striker that's quick is always a problem. Robert John was that man with the heading stat. He's very good jumping reach. But it's a bit of a strange scenario, to be honest. Kidderminster not got the greatest side. Predicted to finish next to Warrington, who have got a very good team. It all doesn't make sense, really. But there we go. Wopos, do you think you'll remain on YouTube, or have you thought about streaming on Twitch or elsewhere as well? I think for now, probably staying on YouTube. I know Twitch is more beneficial financially and whatever, and once it becomes part of my job, hopefully in the future, if it's well enough supported, then possibly I'll have to think about it. But at the moment, I'm not the most technically gifted man in the world. I'd much rather just have everything under one roof. It's easier to manage. I'm not too worried about if one day I get a donation on the channel or a gift and it works out I get 2% less of it or whatever. If you're someone who's a big streamer and you're getting 20 of those per stream and it's your income because you're getting 30, 40, 50 quid every time you live stream, I can understand if that's your full-time job, losing 5% of it each time is probably not ideal, or however much extra it is. I don't think it's quite that much. But I just prefer having it all under one roof. I do accept later down the line it might have to happen, but for now, it's more for the enjoyment, so I'm not really that worried about it. Hopefully, that will stay the case, because I really would like to do it all in the same place. Though I am aware doing live streams on YouTube does slightly affect the analytics and mess up the algorithm slightly, but I know they're working to fix it, so I'm not hugely worried. Kidderminster, yeah, still 9-1 to win the league. You make a good point there. They're predicted to finish 14th and less than 10-1. You'd suggest it should be a tight league this year, and I guess, to be fair to them, in the table so far, it is quite close. There's 4 points separating the top 7, and none of them have lost more than 2 games out of 9, so they might be right. Let's have a look at the FA Cup draw. We're not going to show all of it because there's 160 teams, but let's just skip through and see if we get a lucky draw. A banana skin on the road, perhaps? We're away to Coles Hill. Coles Hill Town. I'm pretty sure that's near Birmingham, if I'm not wrong. I'm happy to be corrected. Yeah, local rivals, Solihull Moors, so must be in that sort of region. I'm sure when we went to watch the Birmingham game, it was one of the train stops on the way. What tier are they in? Southern League Division 1 Central. So that is... How far down's that? That's got to be step 4? So they're 2 leagues below us at the moment. So that's potentially a banana skin on the road, but it should be a tie we can win while making a few changes. And they're famous last words for most FA Cup ties, I would imagine. So we'll wait and see what happens with that, but fingers crossed. I'm just going to flick the camera on and off quickly because it's just gone blurry, so bear with me a moment. I will disappear very momentarily and we'll see if it fixes the issue. Thank you for pointing it out, by the way. It's a little bit better. I don't think it's completely resolved, but you can still see me, and I'm certainly not the main attraction here. My face is falling apart for winter, as we've got another injury. Ryan Harding, 2 to 3 weeks. He's one of those who would have come in for the FA Cup tie. And this is where we start to worry. No matter how big a side you are, how good a team you are, if we get 4 or 5 of them to our first 16, 17 players, we're in big trouble. It's something we have to worry about. So we had agreed a deal for Blair to come in as a goalkeeper. He's not actually rated any better than O'Brien now. Is it O'Brien our keeper? Smith, sorry. O'Brien was the one who left in the summer. So I'm not going to bring him in. I'm kind of looking for a cheap free agent deal, but there's no one about. Because all of the recommendations are for big players, which I kind of understand. You want the best available, but I need a backup. There's no one goalkeepers even in the scouted range, so... In fact, it says nothing there, so let's have a look. Is there a goalkeeper here? Charlie Murray's available for free. He's not great. I don't really know why he's being recommended to us. So let's just put this down to goalkeepers. See if we can find a bog standard average backup. The only 2 that are available on frees aren't anymore and aren't very good. That could be a problem. If Lewis Smith gets injured again, we are in big, big trouble. Charlie, can you sign players that are in grey? Not if they're not at your club. So if they're at yours, you can offer them a contract. So for example, when we get an injury, we often get a second grade out keeper. And you can play him, you can offer him a professional deal. But if there are other clubs, you can't do anything with them, unfortunately. They're just there to make up the numbers so the game doesn't crash, essentially. Whoppers, I think you can only do that within your own team if I'm correct. Yep, you've nailed it. Spot on. Sorry, I didn't see your response there. So yeah, if they're in your own team, you can offer them a deal. So we'd have to do that if we got a keeper that came through. So there we go. Look, Stephen Shuttleworth's just shown as a backup keeper. He's awful, and most of the grade players are. But if we offer him a contract, he could become a backup goalkeeper then. So we'll offer him the basic deal, and we'll see if he accepts it. Then we've got a number 2. So Harding's injured. He's going to drop off the bench today. We'll bring Mann back in. He's probably the best of the rest. Not that any of them are very good. And I just worry. I mean, beyond that 16 we're naming today, Stanley and Webb could just about do a job. Aside from that, we haven't got any depth in terms of attacking, midfield. And it's only really 2 defenders that can do a job at a push. I am worried that Hutchinson keeps getting tired. Wilson will come in for him today. Turner at right back. He's a little tired, but he's not as tired. So I think he's going to have to give it a miss this time. Turner will play. Wilson could go right back at the weekend. I don't know. So Stanley or Webb will be on the bench as well. I think we'll go for Webb. Is he the better of the 2? 2-star ability, yeah. So we'll go for Webb. He's on the bench and we'll get into it. Walton's 90%. He is match fit though. So that'll be it for now. One change and it's enforced at centre-half. Yeah, you're too quick for me in the chat. I can't keep up. I am looking into it. I was looking to see if we could get a second screen or something, but it's just not affordable at the moment. So, unfortunately, I'm a little bit slow on the chat. I will be for a little while yet. Might be a problem in FM21 if a few more of you pop along, particularly for the early days. I know it's inevitable, but I can only apologise. It's a 4-4-2. Kidderminster are playing Milan Butterfield in midfield. Now, he's a player who exists. He's played 471 games for them. That's incredible at non-league level. He's also got 99 caps for Bermuda, so he should be bringing up 100 soon. That's a brilliant achievement. Fair play to the lad. We're going to ask the lads to go out and prove a point. Most of them motivated. But this is going to be a tough game. It's one of those that I'm never confident about. We need Declan Shields to start scoring again. After his sublime start, he won Player of the Month, and he hasn't scored since. But we've got to throw defensively here with Jamal. Plays it into Cool. Back to Jamal again. Down the left-hand side towards Potter. Kavanagh gets there. Mops up easily. And he's back to his keeper, Alexander. Hoofs long downfield. It's intercepted, but Kidderminster look like they've got an extra man in there. I think it's just the strikers dropping off, but look at Douglas surging in there. It's a 3-on-3. Douglas has been left to go alone. Into the box he goes, his shot's dragged wide. But an interesting counter, certainly. They made it look a little bit easy. Hemel versus Boston was cancelled last night, unfairly perhaps. Yeah, I mean, some of the law-making decisions are sort of forced the hand of teams. I think Alfreton were forced to cancel their tie as well. I'll be correct. I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong. So it's lovely for Hemel, who get a bye probably, but it is a bit of a shame. It's not the way you want to see cup ties being decided, but it will happen a lot this year. But then in the EFL, you've got some that are getting replayed, some that will get points awarded. It's just, at least it's better at non-league. They've got consistency that everyone knows, whether it's right or wrong. I guess that's the only positive. So we're going to tell the lads we're not very happy with that. We've dominated the stats. Declan Shields probably is starting to have his first little goal drought. And we need to make sure it doesn't last too long, because it could put us in a spot of bother. But with an hour on the clock, it's still 0-0. Kidderminster still doing a job on us. And it's getting even tighter at the top. It's now 3 points separating the top 7. But we've got a chance to expand that now as we clear down the left-hand side. Walker picks it up, finds Butterfield and back to the centre half. They're all on a booking. So maybe we'll get a red card at some point. But it looks like we could go behind here as Wynn hits it into the side netting. And we're going to make changes. Louis Potter hasn't been great today. The midfielders are nervous. Ralph Douglas on a yellow. So we'll bring on Matt Waggett. Moving forward, we will have Burling up front for Potter. He'll be a target man on attack. And then on the right wing, Robertson will come on for Walton. Not a natural winger, but a good young player and a goal scorer. So hopefully that will have an impact. We're going to demand a bit more from the lads. A couple looking apprehensive. We've got them focused and we just need to nick a goal. A 1-0 win's as good as a 5-0 at this stage of the season. But it doesn't look like it's forthcoming. We're going to do some of these make changes. The tactical instructions recommended. And we tend to go, we've got a goal kick. Smith clears it to the left-hand side. Flicked on by Watson, straight to their man. Really hasn't worked that wide goal kick. As Cool picks it up in the middle. Long ball forward towards Shields. Can't get on the end of it. And there's that Johns winning a header at the back. They're used to the direct play, aren't they? Jamal goes back to Smith in goal. For a brief moment now, I thought he was going to let it under his foot. But he hears long downfield to the right. Robertson brings it down for Turner. We're just playing a safe option there. Dot up, Johns wins it again. And Cool brings it down. Man over on the left. Can we finally create one? He's going backwards. Jamal picks it up. Long ball into the box. Shields is there. Hits the post. The rebound's in, but he's offside. I thought it was over. I thought the 2.5 game goal drought was over. But unfortunately, it's straight back in again. Thank you to everyone popping along. Good to see so many viewers in. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. I hope you're enjoying it. Although a ball 0-0 is not what we wanted. Is that the Reece Kavanagh? Oh, it's a different one. Thought it was the Kavanagh we had at the start of the save. But what a performance, if not the result. A 0-0 draw. The gap at the top closes. But we can't be too disappointed with that. It's a good performance and not a disastrous result. We're not going to win every game. We haven't got a standout squad. So we are gonna drop points occasionally. But we're still one clear. And now, after all that pre-season stuff, there's 6 points separating the top 11. So the media predictions perhaps were right, although not about Kidderminster. Why did it say they're frustrated from the draw? I don't really understand that. We dominated the shots. I don't know why they're so pleased about it. Oh well, 7 games unbeaten, that's a good sign. Shuttleworth has signed a minimum contract. He's awful, but he's now a backup goalkeeper. And we're going to move forward. We've got Guiseley coming up in a few days' time. And we've just got to hope we can get back to winning ways, particularly at home. We don't want to have too many where we don't. And Shields, after his hat-trick, 3 games without a goal now. He has got 2 assists in that time. But that's the inconsistency of youth, isn't it? And we've got a lot of that in our team. So I think we'll probably have to get used to that occasionally. But we'll get through a couple more this morning at least. Guiseley and Halifax for definite. And we'll either leave it before Coleshill or play that game. Craig Robertson's still improving massively. Really doing a good job, to be fair. So there is some excitement for Carlisle for the future. I don't know if we'll get a second season in. But if we do, I'd fancy this side to stay up in the National League. It's just getting there. The promotion race here will probably be harder than the relegation race at the next tier. I wouldn't expect us to compete for anything, but it'll certainly be alright. And if we can keep hold of Declan Shields, we might be superstars. So Guiseley coming up. The goalkeeper's trial finishes. We've sorted that area now. And we have favourites to beat Guiseley, as you would expect. Odds on 2. Craig Robertson's got a knock now as well. Only 1 to 2 days, but he will miss that game. And it just starts to give us a few worries that we wouldn't like to have. I'm just seeing if there's any stars on these free agent deals. We've run out of money for our package to scout as well, which is a shame. No, they're all rubbish. They've got to improve the squad to come in. Because we're already spending big money on players we don't want. Because none of them will leave. None of them have got any interest because they're not good players. It's very difficult to accept. But Guiseley up next. It should be a tough game. Guiseley have had a decent start to the season. They're a fairly good side on paper. If we have a look at them, where were they expected to finish? Guiseley expected... Where are they? I'm going blind. 10th. But they came down from the National League. So why are they expected to finish so low? I know they're a smaller reputation side, but... Oh look, they've got Kane Wilson. He's too good for the National League North, even at 31. We had him at Cliftonville for a season on loan. He's a really good young prospect. Played for Tranmere last season on loan. West Brom in real life. He's a good player. I don't know what he's doing at this level. Looking at some of their other key players, there is no way they're finishing in the bottom half. Same as Warrington. No way at all that's happening. Look at the keeper. He's brilliant. I really don't understand this. I don't get it. They're a good side. They'll be up in the playoff picture. Charlie, I've just seen a Tunnock's caramel wafer comment. Let me catch up with that. Tunnock's caramel wafer or chocolate bourbon? Now, you've asked me a very tough question there. Because I grew up on the smart price or value bourbons. It was my dessert most days. However, the Tunnock's caramel wafer is possibly the greatest snack in the world. So you're asking me about which one's the best and which one's my favourite. That probably gives me 2 different answers. It's a close one. I would probably just edge the bourbon biscuit, basing it on all things. So price, amount you get for the price, nostalgia for me, and the fact that it, for 24p enabled me to have a pudding 15 days. 2 bourbon biscuits after pudding was the way forward when you're a working class kid. So no complaints for that. Definitely just the bourbon biscuit. But I'm not arguing that Tunnock's caramel wafers aren't the greatest snack in the world. But there is nostalgia to it for me. So hopefully you can forgive me for that one. I'm just looking at the lineup. Everyone seems to be fit, including Turner, who was struggling in the week. Jamal's dropped down to 2.5 star ability, as has Watson now. So as it stands, we'll have to get into it like this. We're in decent form. Of course, we had that slight blotch in midweek, but otherwise, I think we're all right. Charlie, you're going to have to choose as well. Bourbon or wafer. You can't just hang me out to dry and then not give your opinion. 4-2-4 we're going with again. A 4-5-1, a flat defensive formation for Guiseley. And maybe that's why they're predicted mid-table. Lack of ambition, perhaps. But we just need to get to winning ways. We need Declan Shields to get back amongst the goals. And hopefully that will happen soon. But it's a free kick in. Smith does well. Early warning signs for us. Guiseley getting in. But Smith's got a chance to counter it here. Out to the left-hand side. It's a hoof forward. Really poor, but Jamal picks it up. Down the left towards Watson, who picks it up on the left. Beats his man. He's got 2 in the middle. Can he find one of them? He's going alone, I think. Watson shoots straight at the keeper. Probably should have passed there, to be honest. But 2 good early chances. It looks good after 10 minutes. But we still haven't got that goal. And that's the warning sign at the moment. One more game without one. And I think we'll have to talk to Shields. Because he's looking anxious there. So we're going to demand a bit more. And just hope that we can nick one from somewhere. If we can bundle one in with a knee or something, it'll open the floodgates. As Wilson at right back finds Blankley. Long forward to Salmon. Out to Elliott on the right. Chance to take on the fullback as the voice is starting to creak again. And a shot straight at Smith. But we gave away a good chance there. It is a worry. We've got a throw at the other end with Turner though. Into Walton, to Douglas. Cleared away. Salmon's got there first. We're really struggling against this Guiseley side. Dodd wins it back. Does really well. hoofs it forward to no one, but we're just going to hope we can get on scraps. As the long ball forward is cleared by Hutchinson, out to the left wing, only finds Kane Wilson. It is end-to-end awful direct football, and direct is a style, this is just hoofing it. But Cool finds Douglas. Can we produce a bit of quality? Walton skins his fullback in towards Potter, and he's hit the bar. I really thought that was the moment, but unfortunately it's not to be. 0-0 it stays, half an hour gone. We're starting to look poor in front of goal. You have these spells at this level, but with the two strikers we've got, it shouldn't be happening for much. As Walton puts it in, Potter heads in, and just like that, he silences me. Third goal of the season for Potter. Great header at the back stick. And it is 1-0 Carlisle. Guiseley out of the picture now. Good news is we're normally solid defensively, so hopefully we won't throw it away. As half-time, it is 1-0. A really good half. Sort of deserved the goal, but it didn't look like it was coming for a while. But now it's here. A good, comfortable lead. And we've got a throw at left-back with Jamal. Long down the line towards Potter. Kane Wilson gets there, though. And it only takes one moment when it's 1-0, as Orafu finds Blankley. Switches to the left to Allen. He's going to beat Turner, isn't he? Of course he is. The fullbacks always get skinned here. And Allen shot straight at Smith. So we'll let him off. But Smith's got a chance here as Guiseley are coming back into this. They're going a little bit more aggressive, but they're still playing at 4-5-1. As Andrews gets it at left back. Inside to Hall. Out to Blankley. Long hoof over the top. Hutchinson gets there. Does really well. Cool brings it down in the middle. Murphy challenges him, but he finds Watson. Potter switches it to Walton. Shields is in the middle. We could do with him scoring today. It's through to Shields and it's blocked by the defender. Downfield to Salmon and that chance has gone as well. But will we get done on the counter here? Elliott on the right. He's pegged back eventually. But they've still got men forward here, Guiseley. Though it is seen out quite comfortably. And now Walton's pulled his hamstring. The injuries are really starting to rack up. And because we're losing players, we haven't got a sub on the right wing. I don't know what to do with that. Hardin's out. Robertson's out. They would both come on the right wing. I might put Cool out there. He can play there okay. Deep line playmaker can be Waggett. And he'll be there as a... Yeah, we'll leave him as a deep line playmaker. Doesn't look great at the moment. Burling will come on the left wing as well. 2 changes made. We'll get back into it. We might see TJ Bramble today. It's been an okay performance. It's just that we haven't got that quality in us. Declan Shields in a goal drought doesn't help. Douglas has had an average game, so Bramble will come on. His preferred role doesn't really matter, to be honest. He's not great at anything. So what we'll do is we'll put him in as the deep line playmaker, I think. Who's better on the ball? Neither, really. I mean, it's not a good side, is it? Central midfielder for Waggett. He will be on support. Bramble deep line playmaker. Cool will drop to a support duty. And I think we'll try and hang on. Turner on defend as well. Let's just make sure we see this out. Because Guiseley have got a threat about them. And they've got a corner here on the left-hand side. In-swinger for Elliott. To the front post. Headed by Bramble. Only as far as Allen. And he's offside. He wasn't. Who's been given offside? Tomlinson. Didn't even see him. Must have been from Sunning initially. As Andrews throws it in, it is all Guiseley at the moment. Andrews at left back with a chance to cross. He does. To the front stick. Oh, it's a great goal. Blankley volleys it in for 1-1. And it's deserved on the second half. We've dropped off. We've been really poor. We're going to demand more, but I don't think we're going to win this one. Favourite soft drink? Ting. Definitely Ting. It's the best soft drink. If it's a diet drink, we'll go for Coke Zero, but I would definitely say Ting is the best one. You discovered it recently, of course, but it is the best soft drink by a million miles. As Waggett picks it up in central midfield. Switch to the right to Cool. Down for Declan Shields. He's missed another. This is going to end up costing us if this goalless run goes on much longer. We cannot afford to drop points like this. Nuneaton, who we beat on the opening day comfortably, are now top. Because we've thrown away another 2 points. And in the second half, you've got to say we deserve to lose it. They really came back at us there. And now we've got Halifax who are third. It doesn't get any easier. Ross Walton's out for 3 weeks. I mean, this is starting to go wrong. Injuries, lack of squad depth, goal droughts for attacking players. I'm going to have to talk to him. Because it's 4 games now for Declan Shields. So we're going to warn him. You've got faith to get back to scoring ways. To be honest, I think I've done okay. I don't know what more you're expecting of me. I'm expecting you to score a goal, obviously. You're a League One standard centre forward. I mean, if you can't work that out, I don't know what's going on. Thank you to everyone that's popping in. If you are new, please do subscribe. Pop a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. We'll be back with our daily video series this afternoon. It'll be Cliftonville at 4:30. A fantastic European run we're on there. But we've got Halifax to get out the way this morning. We'll skip through. We won't play the Coleshill game this morning, but we'll get through to it. So just a bonus 4 league games this morning. Means we'd know a bit less off camera. Then I think off camera we'll probably just play Coleshill and Southport, who are down there. And then we'll come back for Morecambe, who are just fighting away out of relegation now. Because next week we can do 2 as well, so we should get through to near enough Christmas. But Coleshill Town, definitely a tough test. Not much news going on at the club at the moment. I might have to start looking for transfers, and we're going to have to put a concerted effort in to get rid of some of these kids, because they're really not good, to be honest. He's been here 5 years and he's awful, so let's just try and transfer him. Offer him out for free. Will someone buy this kid who's worth absolutely nothing? Joseph McCann, right back, absolutely awful. And this is the problem. These guys have all been kept on fairly good contracts. And there's no way that any club at this level in their right mind would pay for these guys. Because they just haven't got the ability. And they want double the money of the other targets who are going to be backups of similar quality. And they're not as good as the first choice ones who would go for the same price. Webber would be happy to sell, but he's a decent enough player. Bruce Stanley, 700 quid a week. He's got good potential, I kind of get it, but it's scary, really. He's going to be offered out. TJ Bramble, 700 quid a week. I'm going to have to keep him this week because of the injuries. Munro, this guy, he's on 575 quid a week. He's awful. So we'll offer them all out for free, even if we can get rid of one of them. Just to get 200, 300, 400 quid off the wage bill. That would be the ideal. It's exactly what we're hoping for. But I'm not sure it's going to be forthcoming. We have dropped down to second in the league. It is going to get a little more difficult. But hopefully we'll be able to remain positive at some point. Let me know what you think the score of the Halifax game will be. I don't think it's going to be a good one, unfortunately. They're down to 6th now, so they must have had a poor result last time round. But it's Tuesday night again, so I'm guessing we'll have a couple out tired. We've got Robertson back, but we've lost Walton. No bids for any of those players. Morecambe want Munro, but look, his wage demands are in excess. So let's offer him on loan instead. If it's a temporary deal, they might be more willing. I don't think any of these are even wanted now. No interest at all. And you can't blame the other clubs. You've got to blame the mismanagement of Carlisle in recent years, though. Walton's out today. He'll be replaced by Robertson, who's back to fitness. Harding's still nowhere near fit. He's not available. So the rest of the squad's going to have to be the same. Turner is match fit. Cole is, I think, match fit. Yeah, Douglas is in poor form as well, actually, in box-to-box midfield. It's all starting to fall away again after a good run and a good start to the episode, but we have to accept these things in non-league. We've got one sub outside the match squad, but it's Walton, who we've just dropped out for injury. So the rest of the 16 have stayed the same. Just a straight swap with Robertson back to form. It's a 4-2-4 for us, a 4-3-3 for Halifax. And that tends to be where we've struggled this year. So we're going to tell the lads to get motivated, get up for it. And hopefully there'll be a positive outcome from this. But I'm not 100% convinced yet. We've got a defender throw at left back. I thought it was us for a minute because it was in blue. But it is Halifax, of course. To Mutton in central midfield. Chance to go long over the top, but go short to Ferguson. Short to Torrance. Lovely football there. Played a nice triangle round us. Hutchinson wins it. It was a risky tackle because he flew in. But he got the ball, thankfully. Ferguson to Riddle. He picks it up 30 yards out. Chance to shoot there. He was completely unmarked. Same for Torrance. And we're 1-0 down already. This is getting ridiculous. We're absolutely collapsing. Thank God Coleshill's coming up because it should be a chance for us to get back to form. But I really am quite concerned about it. 15 minutes gone, and they've dominated the game as well. It's not as if it's close. They've got better players than us moving forward, bar Shields, but Shields isn't scoring and doesn't seem to see the problem with it. And there he's hit another one straight at the keeper. All of his chances were going in at the start. He's young, he's inconsistent, but the arrogance worries me. As Cool delivers the corner, into the back post, O'Hara flicks it away, and Robertson will pick it up on the right wing. Not a natural winger, not a naturally good footballer, but Turner puts that down the line to him. And that's it, the highlight's over. A few people looking frustrated, anxious, all of the things you don't want to see. And Turner picks it up at right back. Back to Smith in goal. Chance to bring it forward, but he seems more intent on trying to do a step over when there's no one within 30 yards of him. And he clears it long downfield, straight to the opposition fullback. This is so frustrating. Really is frustrating to watch. Quality players all in bad form at the same time. Injuries, fatigue. Oh, it's all starting to go wrong. Jamal clears it long downfield, up towards Shields. Never going to win that in the air. We've not even got long range passing on. As Robertson flicks it through to Shields, can he finally end that goal drought? He's brought down for the penalty. We didn't see the end of the highlight for some reason, but it is a penalty kick. Shields will take it. It's in. 1-1. He needed the penalty to end the goal drought, and he has got it. 11th goal of the season. Now, can the floodgates open for him again? We've needed this for a while. We are dominant in terms of stats again, but how many times can you say it? If you don't take chances, you don't deserve to win. As Turner picks the ball up at right back. Into Robertson. Back to Turner again. Long over the top towards Shields. Why we're playing so direct, I don't know. But it falls for Cool. 25 yards out. Into Watson. Save to Robertson. Back to Shields. He's passed it back to the keeper. Oh my words. It was an open goal. He's let the keeper run back and get there. The keeper was ahead of him when he took the shot. And he's made up 6 yards quicker than the ball. It really is a worry. We're going to tell the lads to prove a point. We need something in this second half. He's got a nasty habit of getting yellow cards, Declan Shields, as well. It says in his bio that he likes to play shots. Haven't seen much evidence of that recently either. There are a few concerns with him now. As Mutton picks the ball up in the middle to Ferguson, to Riddle, left to Stones. No pressure on him. Easy cross to Carter. 2-1 to Halifax. Not even 10 yards of pressure. We've got pressing intensity as urgent, and there was no one within 10 yards of him. It's baffling, but there you go. Thank you to everyone popping along. Lovely to see the number of viewers creeping up. Please do chuck a thumbs up on it if you haven't already. As in the second half of games at the moment, we seem to be completely collapsing. And now Halifax are on top. They've suddenly had 6 or 7 shots out of nowhere. We're going to ask for some passion. We're going to make some changes. Watson replaced by Burling. He'll be an inside forward still. Ralph Douglas has had another shocking game. He's going to be replaced by Waggett. Dodds had a poor game, so Wilson on for him. And that's all I can do. That's all I can do. The squad is so limited with 2 or 3 injuries. Well, yeah, Wappers, you're fair enough with that. He places them straight in the arms of the keeper. That's not a bad argument. I suppose when you're out of form, your placing shots won't be as accurate, will it? Rolf's into the box. I thought that was going to be a penalty there. How did that nearly go in? Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to watch. I don't know where it's coming from. We're going to go all out attack because we need to get something. At least the one solace before was we were unbeaten. And that's not happening now. We're going to be more expressive, hit early crosses, push further forward, prevent short keeper distribution. I don't know what more I can do. I don't understand how we've gone from winning 4-5-1, dominating matches, even the first one on camera today, to Declan Shield not being able to finish, to Halifax having 9 shots in 20 minutes, and to us falling apart, and Shield's not understanding that a 5-game goal drought is a problem for me. As Riddle picks it up for Torrance, up to Rolf. Wilson gets there, slide challenge, misses the ball completely. Rolf brings it down and scores at the near post. What a game to end on this is. There are a lot of concerns. Did you think we were just going to run away and win the league? I'm not so sure. A 3-1 defeat. I don't know what to say. That performance has come out of nowhere. And the last 2 games, what worries me is the second half we've fallen away. We're now 4 points off Nuneaton, who we know were a better side than. We beat them comfortably on the opening day. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Frank Rolfe scored a screamer there. His long shot rating's 5, by the way. But we're going to skip ahead. We'll get to Saturday's game. We won't play it on camera. I just want to see if we can do anything in a transfer window in the meantime. Let's have a look at the scout reports. Anyone who's available on a free. So this guy's rated really well as a left back. He's wanted by Accrington, who are higher up the pyramid. Let's see what he wants. He wants 1,000 a week. We'll try and get it down. Because the left back is our weak area potentially. And he is rated significantly better. I say significantly. A little bit as it happens. But he's got he played 21 games in the Championship last year. 5 starts, 16 off the bench. He's got to have something about him, surely. So let's offer him a deal. We'll try and get everything down a bit. I'm a heavy negotiator, which I appreciate isn't ideal to watch. But it does mean we get a good deal normally. So apologies for the ultimate mouse clicking in the background. Oh, he's thrown his toys out the pram. We're not going higher than 825. Oh, he's accepted. So we'll keep that scout report going. If it's good, then in a week's time we might add Greg Nation. Orville Fraser. Centre midfielder, not great. Joel Bowden, not great. Although he is a right winger. So what's his attributes? 3-star ability. It's not great. I've got a feeling he's one that early in the summer was considered good, but probably isn't now. John Kelly, versatile defensive player, but he's got no athleticism. Stuart Frost, a striker. Not good, and we don't need a striker. It's the one position we're sorted. Toby Jupp. They're not good. I mean, they're rated well in the scout reports, but they are not good. There are some real concerns here with some of these players. They're not good enough. And if this is what we're scouting, you can see where the trouble is. Christian Miller's a right back. I'll have another look at him because he looks all right. He's not rated that well even on the scout report. But how much do you trust the scout report? I mean, that's another question, isn't it? Thank you for everyone popping along. Please do chuck a thumbs up if you haven't already. We're just going to get through the next 3 days to the Coleshill game, just in case there's any interest in those players we're trying to get rid of, and there's any news on terms of ins. But it looks like it's very hard because all the players that Carlisle have tied down are on big contracts. It's big money for people who aren't that good. It's not a good combination. But 2 tiers below Coleshill Town, so I'm hoping that off camera against them and against Southport we'll be able to get a bit out of these guys. And we'll be able to find some form. I've just seen Europa League Man City are in. They've won 4-0 at Hibs. I don't quite know. And Chelsea are in the Europa Conference. We might need to have a quick look at the Premier League here, because we were with Burnley last season. I don't remember all of that happening. Hereford have made an offer for Nation. They're a National League club. I'd imagine he'll go there instead. Let's have a look at the football pyramid. Luton still mid-table in the Championship. Good to see. So let me remind myself of the Premier League table last season. It was... So Chelsea finished 7th. Stoke crept 6th in the end. I was so focused on us falling away into 9th that I didn't look. Should we see how Burnley are getting on? Burnley are 15th with 5 points after 5 games. What I want to see is how many that they've sold on or moved on. Let's have a look. So they've signed 5. Derek Barr, we'd already pre-agreed. He's a really good player as well, by the way. They're not playing him, though, which is strange enough. They signed Kenneth Taylor for 21 million, who's a Dutch midfielder. Richard Morris for 40 million from Swansea, who's a pretty good wonder kid striker. 4 million for Harry Headley, another striker from China. And Richard Jepson, 5.75, young centre-half. So actually, they've kept that mould going. Jepson would have been a good signing for us. 18 years of age. They sold Vinicius Xavier, 33 million back to Brazil. He sold Tim Preaker to Besiktas. Jack Vaughan went to Stoke for 20 million. He's gone to a top 6 club. I didn't expect him to be the one that did. And then a few others out on loan. It's not quite as much overturn as I thought there would be. It's still a decent little side, and a lot of those youngsters are there, but they will fall away a bit this year, because we were performing miracles with them. But let's get ahead to Saturday. We'll leave it just before the FA Cup tie, just in case there's any more news. I'm hoping we'll just have an offer for someone, but it doesn't look like it's coming. Unfortunately, an episode that started with glory and ended with disappointment. Ryan Harding is back fit, so there will be changes for that game. And we will be back either for Morecambe or for Altrincham next week. I haven't decided which of the two yet. Morecambe just falling away at the bottom, but they have crept out now. So perhaps that'll be the one. But thank you for joining me this morning for this impromptu bonus live stream. We'll be back on Tuesday next week as normal as well. And we'll have a bonus one too next week at some point. Either Wednesday or Thursday morning. There's content from Cliftonville at 4:30 today. Completely mincing my words there. So please do check that out. The European run continues. It's been an absolute cracker this season and I'd love it if you could join along. And keep your eyes peeled on the community page for announcements of the Discord server. You can check them out on Twitter as well. And there will be plenty of polls and announcements next week for FM21. Whoppers will hope the form will be back next Tuesday. I mean, if we've lost to Coleshill, I might be close to the sack. So fingers crossed that won't happen. But thank you all for coming along. It was lovely to have you here again. Thanks for joining the bonus one. And I'll see you next week.